Alright, so I want to start off by telling you guys that I just got the Sigma Bokeh Master, the Sigma Art 1.4, 105 millimeters. This is the unboxing portion. Um, there's a lot of places where you can look up specs. I'm not going to go into the specs too much. I'll probably put some details on the bottom of this video, but when I got the box weighed with all the packaging just a little over 6 pounds, so it's definitely a heavy lens. It does come with some nice little backpack carrying case for it. Standard Sigma box, as you can see. I like to use the all white. Just out of the gate, I think you should always get the Sigma dock station, as you'll see later in the behind the scenes. I got some amazing sharp pictures without calibration. I can just imagine what this is going to look like once we calibrate it. So I'll do another video with calibration. But for the most part, I think it was fine. As you can see, it's coming in as a great high quality lens with all the perks that you get from the big name brand lenses. As you can see, the carrying case, but the sheer size and the weight. If you guys ever used the Nikon 105 1.4, this is coming in at around $600 to $700 cheaper. I think it's up there. I think they threw everything behind this lens. I'm going to call this the poor man's 200 millimeter 2.0. That's a $6,000 lens. For the price, I don't know really what's out there that I think of that can compete. This is definitely now my new go-to portrait lens. Obviously the Bokeh Master, you're going to want to shoot it wide open. That's what it's for, but it can go all the way up to 16. Today I've only tested the 1.4. Now, as you can see here, picking it up, definitely kind of throws you off if you haven't picked up a lens this size. It's just massively open in the front, and it gets a little good. It takes a while to get used to it. And it's kind of hard to put it in perspective here until you kind of put it on the camera body. But just look at the inside. Look how beautiful it is. I'm going to wait towards the end to kind of give you my review, but I mean, what can you say? It's just a beautiful lens. I'm telling my kids it's time to do a review here. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on my camera body. As you can see it right next to that, that is a 50 milliliter. That is a 50 millimeter lens right there. Taking it off, kind of putting it next to there, it just dwarfs it. I mean, it is so tremendously huge. Now for you guys, I'm putting this on a Nikon 850. I'm sure it helps on putting it on the 850. But what I'll say is, whatever body you put it on, it is going to drastically improve your pictures so much. If you don't have a body that can calibrate entirely well, or if the calibration isn't that great, on some of the older Nikons, we had some issues. I think you have to have the docking station regardless, because the docking station allows you to calibrate at different focal lengths, which I really like. So here we're behind the scenes. This is my daughter, absolutely gorgeous. She's my muse. So here we're just taking some quick shots, nothing special, just real quick, maybe 20 minutes after I got the lens. Just playing with it, not a real huge photo shoot, just let's go to the park. This is our neighborhood park. So just looking at the autofocus, it focuses fast. It focuses sharp.
Show me some teeth.
Here we go. Bam. So this is in the field. This is in Photoshop after post-production. I did touch it up a little bit. I do need to show some straight out of the camera, but I mean, absolutely gorgeous lens. Tell me that's not the Bokeh Master right there. That is beautiful Bokeh. I wanted to try some shots while she was swinging here. See how it is in motion. See how fast the autofocus does. I had it on manual focus or single point focus. I didn't do tracking. I'm not a big fan of tracking. I could do that. I think it would turn out great. I like to have complete control, so I did some manual focus here. As she was swinging, here's one again, getting up a little bit closer to her and just showing you a lot of shots here. Trying to try different distances here. This was pretty far. This was actually cropped about 25%. Just obliterating the background. Just look at the background. Completely gone, obliterated. You can't see anything. Here I see a little bit. I focused on her right eye. As you can see, calibration would definitely help out there. Because just a little front focus there, a little back focus, I'm sorry. So definitely the lens has to be calibrated, but my review is, for the price, it cannot be beat. It cannot be beat. I am so happy with this lens right now. The price, the bokeh that it produces, how fast it is, the autofocus, the weight, the construction. If you're on the fence, go ahead and rent it out. I say save your $150, $200. Put that towards this lens. You're already putting 5 or 10% down without renting it. Don't come back pointing at me saying I got this lens, I really didn't like it. I really can't see anybody really not liking it. I want to test it out in a studio scenario. Definitely bump up the aperture there, or I still think, you see the commercial spot for it. It's done in the studio. It's got to perform well. Whenever you have glass that big, it's got to be good. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm definitely going to test as much as possible when it comes to this lens. I'm going to push it to the limits. I want to do f/16, keep it all the way open in full sun, and some low light. I really didn't test the low light here, but from what I imagine, it's great. The last thing I'm going to say is stabilization. It doesn't come with any VR in it, but the glass is so fast, I think it's not a problem. I really didn't see a problem. We were in the shade there. I was at about 500 or 600, ISO 100, ISO 80, ISO 64. Gosh, I mean, I could bump it up to 1,000 if I needed to in low light, and I still think it's going to produce great quality. Might need to reduce the noise a little bit in post-production. What can I say? Give me questions, give me comments. I will let you know what you want about this lens. If you're on the fence, I will go out there and show it. But if the pictures aren't proof enough, I don't know what is. I'm using this lens to replace my Tamron 70 to 200 millimeter. Why do I keep doing that? Millimeter 2.8. It's a must. It's a must. I mean, we talk about longer focal lengths, creating that extra bokeh. What I like about this lens is you can get closer to your subject, you can interact, and not be 25 feet away. That was my distance with the Tamron 2.8. 25 feet away. Very hard to interact with your subjects. So, what can I say? Go for it. Let's do it. One of the happiest purchases I have. Let me know your comments. Signing off for real this time. Okay.